It seems like it's been 40 weeks since you got 40 winks. Your back pain? Unbearable. Tossing, turning, trying to find that pain-free position. And that's the moment you realize you can't spend another waking moment putting off treatment.
The Joint and Spine Center is Cincinnati's leading destination for spine care, with a ton of surgical and non-surgical treatments for back pain. So when a moment has the power to change the rest of your life, go to the one place with the power to change it for the better, the Christ Hospital Health Network. This changes everything.
The Pound This Podcast is brought to you by the Christ Hospital Health Network. This is the Pound This Podcast, episode 612, The Daily Weigh-In, Restarting Weight Loss After 2020.
I want to lose weight, but I don't know how to get started.
What should I meal prep every week?
How do I get those sweet booty gains?
Inspiration for your healthy lifestyle. The Pound This Podcast with Amanda Valentine.
What up? Thank you so much for listening to the Pound This Podcast. I'm Amanda Valentine, and this is the Daily Weigh-In, where I take your questions, mostly from my Instagram page, @YouCanPoundThis, and I answer them to the best of my abilities. Today's question is, how do I restart weight loss after 2020? Oh man, how many people are asking that freaking question? 2020. The dumpster fire. So some people crushed it this year and really didn't have weight loss goals before and then hit them. And a lot of us got skidded off track, myself included. Just part of my story here and what I'm really getting back on track for 2021. I want to give a huge shout out to Shalates and Shelly, who owns Shalates, and me starting Pilates this year has been a really huge way for me to get back on track and kind of really gearing me up for 2021. And, I've had some injuries this year. I got thrown out of exercise for most of the year. It was pretty terrible. So getting into Pilates and getting my body to a good place was absolutely amazing. Pilates is awesome, whether you have injuries or not. I just took a class this morning and I was thinking oh my God, I'm finally starting to feel strong again. I'm feeling strong doing this. And if you know that feeling, that is a good feeling. So if you're interested in Pilates in person in Cincinnati or virtually anywhere, Shalates.com. Shelly is awesome. So I just want to say that for me, restarting some stuff going into 2021, that has been such a good way for me to kind of you think like a runway to take off and just kind of go into 2021. And that's one of my answers of restarting. If you kind of fell off your wagon or things got so skidded out of place this year, which, oh my God, don't fault yourself for that, is to, let's do a slow restart, shall we? Let's not go pedal to the metal. Hey, it's January. I'm doing nothing but eating carrot sticks with tears on them. It's so much the New Year's resolution mentality is to just okay, throw everything out of the house. It's nothing but salad. And you know how that usually works out, because have you done it before? Yeah? Are you still doing it? No. Oh, that means it didn't work. So let's work on some solutions that work, shall we? So I think, my advice for restarting weight loss into 2020 or into 2021 after this trash fire year, first off, give yourself some grace. This year was a hot mess and no one knew how to deal with it, right? Everyone dealt with it in their own ways, and that is fine. Don't compare yourself to other people and how they handled it. Just take it for what it is and let's try to move on, shall we? So don't hate yourself. Don't be mad at yourself of, oh God, I was doing so good and then I lost 50 pounds and I'm such a piece of trash and how am I going to get this started again? Stop it. We're starting new. We're starting with a good attitude. Get your mind in the right place. That's where we're going to start from, right? Of just starting from grace. And then from there, I think it's a really good time to have a reevaluation, a good talk with yourself of why are you doing this? Why do you want to restart weight loss in 2021? What is it that makes you want to lose weight? For real, real answers. I've talked about this a ton on this podcast, so sorry if I'm repeating myself for the 8 billionth time. But what do you really want? Let's really think about that. What is it that why do you really want to lose weight? What are those long-term goals? What's the why with yourself? Okay. Once you got that established, then, let's get a game plan going, right? Like I'd say that you're like, okay, this is what I want. Okay. So what are some small steps to get me there? Like I just said, like the runway, let's ease into it. And one of those is just starting these small habits, just little bitty things that feel like nothing, but have the biggest impact. Like, you know what? I'm going to drink just one less Coke a day or Diet Coke or whatever. I'm going to have one more glass of water. Those little small things where you're like, oh, that's not going to help me lose 20 pounds in 2 months. I mean, not in 2 months, but let's look at this time next year. You could be in a really good place by starting those small incremental habits now, because once they become ingrained into what you do and who you are, you're going to stick with it. And then you can build on top of that. You're building up momentum. So you're doing more water, right? That's a little step. All right. And once you got that kind of ingrained in you and pattern, okay, well, let's add some more vegetables. Let's add some more movement. Let's do, building. We're building. It's not this all or nothing, get it all done now. And with the goal setting, something that has been incredibly helpful for me, and I've felt what worked for me. I mean, you don't have to do it as a New Year's resolution, even though we're talking about New Year's right now. My weight loss journey started with a New Year's resolution, at least one that I stuck to long term, right? So what changed the game for me with that New Year's resolution was not just, oh my God, I have to lose 100 pounds. Oh my God, I had to stop thinking about how much I had to lose. And my goal just became make the best decision possible in every moment. Like that's doable. That's taking it one step at a time. We're taking it one meal at a time. We're taking it one drink at a time. Like we're taking baby steps. And also for me, the goal was I did a 3-month goal. Instead of, oh, this is my year, this is what the year looks like. I was like, well, you know what? In 3 months, I would like to accomplish these 3 things. One for me was flossing every day. I don't remember the other one because I didn't do it. And I wanted to lose 15 pounds. So I did put a weight goal on there. I don't know if I had that to do that over again, if I would. I mean, I have goals for 2021 for myself. And I'm not putting a weight number on anything anymore. And that's just where I'm at right now. So that doesn't mean it's good or bad to choose a weight loss or to not. It just depends on where you're at and what you want. You know what I mean? I'm not an expert in you. I don't know what to tell you what to do for your life. I'm just giving the best advice I can possible. And so, at that point, I'm like, I'm just going to make better decisions. It's no more all or nothing. I can be flexible. I can still enjoy my life. It doesn't feel like a prison to me. And I would like the result from that to be down 15 pounds in 3 months. And at the time, I lost 20 pounds in those 3 months, which was really cool. And I had never done that before without being on a laid out diet, like a Weight Watchers, which I didn't lose weight on, South Beach, stuff like that. And so for me, it was incredibly empowering that I'm like, oh my God, I did this. I'm figuring this out for me and it's working. The other things worked temporarily until they stopped working and I gained the weight back. But this was like, oh, how could this not keep working? Because I'm creating it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm figuring out what works for my life in the moment, and what worked for my life in the moment in 2012 is much different than what works in my life in the moment for 2021. So you also have to be flexible to know that it's going to change, and that could change from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. Like it's as we age, things change. Let's be honest. So I think that once you kind of have like a game plan together, you have some of these smaller goals. And by game plan, I also mean be prepared for stuff. And I never ask anybody to be a meal prepper like I am. That's just what works for me. But it's like, okay, well, here's these small mini goals. Okay, my goal is to drink more water this week. What do I have to do? Sorry if you can hear the sirens. I don't know if you can hear that or not. I got a lot of sirens that go past my house. Anywho, that your goal for the week is to drink more water, then what are you going to do to set yourself up for that? Like if you just have this plan, just like this goal floating out there, you got to have a game plan. Okay, well, I know that I'm not drinking a lot of water now. Why is that? Oh, because I don't really like my water bottle, or I don't, whatever it is, whatever your reasons are that you're not drinking as much water as you want now, which I'm just using this as an example because everybody's got to drink water, right? And it's just an easy one. So you're like, okay, well, maybe I'll get a cooler water bottle, one that's like makes me want to drink more water. Maybe I'll put it in my Fitbit or whatever you got and you're doing a tracker. Maybe I'll put a timer on my phone that every half hour, the alarm goes off, reminding me to drink some water. Like those are the things I'm talking about having a plan. The goal is to drink more water. What's your game plan to do that? Your goal is to lose more weight. What's the game plan? And let's break it down day to day. Okay, I want to lose more weight. I want to lose weight. I want to get that kick started again in the new year. Well, what's not working right now that you feel like that's not accomplishing that goal? Well, you're like, I'm just eating a lot of takeout and, I'm just chips are here. I'm just doing my thing, whatever it is. And then you're like, okay, so the goal is to eat healthier foods, to lose weight. What do I have to do to change what's going on right now? Maybe let's ditch the takeout every day. Maybe let's find some healthier foods to incorporate in there. Maybe it's like, oh, I don't like eating breakfast. All I do is drink a Monster for breakfast or whatever. And you're like, okay, well, maybe I should try to prepare a breakfast every day, or I'm going to make a home-cooked meal every night. Like whatever it is for you. Have the plan. You have to establish it. Like things don't just happen. You know what I mean? It's not like you want a job doing something and it just magically happens for you. You have to have the experience. You got to apply for it. You got, there's steps involved. And that's the same thing with this, which, it seems so easy and like, I'm saying it and you're probably like, yeah, duh. But that's really what it is. And I think that we fall off track all the time. Just take out this dumpster fire year. Just anytime you fall off of something that you're working on, it's because you kind of like loosen up the process, right? Like it's just, you kind of get off of those daily habits. You get off of the plan and you got to have those things to keep the machine rolling. You know what I mean? Such a great example that I use all the time. It's like, if you want to like learn how to play piano, that, it's not just going to magically happen. All of a sudden you're playing Beethoven. Like you have to do the steps to get there, and it's going to take you a while. Like you're going to have to learn chopsticks first, and then you're going to have to practice however many days just to get chopsticks down. And then once you got chopsticks, I don't know what's between chopsticks and Beethoven a lot. I don't know, the Snoopy theme. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but you have to put that work in every day. Like you're not automatically going to go from never touching a piano to knowing chopsticks. You got to do it every day to get there. And then once you get there, you're going to have to progress from there to get to the ultimate goal. But you're not starting day one being like, Beethoven's a goal, I'm running after that. I got over 100 pounds to lose. That's what I'm going after. Now back that train up, back it way up. Let's look at a more immediate picture and work from there. Know what I mean? So that is just the Daily Habits. A great book that I really loved about building habits was Atomic Habits by James Clear. And that he lays out a lot of really good groundwork of just kind of incorporating those small little habits in your life. Because it's those tiny atomic habits, get it, that build to the bigger thing. And so I think that once you kind of got all of those things going together and your goals are realistic, that's how you get restarted in this, or not even restart, maybe started for the first time, or just even recovering from the holidays, or whatever it is, or whatever those steps kind of work for anything, not just weight loss. It's the realization that it's time and effort and work. It is those things. It's accomplishing a goal. You want to learn how to play Beethoven. There is work involved there. It just doesn't magically, your brain get programmed and then it's there forever. And then even after you learn it, you have your concert, standing ovation, because COVID will be over at that point, and yay, you did it. If you stop practicing piano, you're going to start to lose it, right? I played the saxophone every single day from 3rd grade to my senior year in high school. I have my saxophone in my closet right now. I can play one scale. Like I was in concert band and jazz band, and when I was in grade school, I was in marching band. I mean, I was playing Achy Breaky Heart like nobody's business on my alto sax. I cannot do that now because I stopped. So to think that I'm going to hit this weight loss goal and then I just don't incorporate these habits anymore, like I did it, yay, and thinking that that it's not going to fade away or you're not going to make a habit out of it is not a good plan because it'll fade and change. And once you have these habits and you have it ingrained in you and you're doing this every day, you're so much stronger against these things that come up, birthdays and anniversaries and barbecues and all this other stuff. I mean, global pandemic is a pretty extreme thing, but I mean, for me, this year definitely kicked me in the knees and knocked me down, but I'm getting back up. I mean, I've said this in another podcast this year. I don't remember which one it was, but it's like, and I really mean this. And if I wouldn't have had all of these things established in my life and these healthy routines and how much I know being healthier helps me and my meal prep routine, if I wouldn't have had that as such a solid foundation, and then 2020 hit me, I really don't know if I would have made it. Like, I'm being very serious. I mean, this was a very hard year mentally for me. And it's like, but those things were, the buoy I held on to in the middle of a hurricane. Like was my stabilizer. It doesn't mean it didn't mess me up, but man, I am just forever grateful for, this healthier life that I have built for myself, because it's just a strong foundation for everything around you. When you feel good and you have your health, I mean, it's everything. And it's everything for everything around you. And I 100% believe that because I feel like I'm living that, And so that's my why. That's my driver. That's why for me, going into the new year, my resolution isn't a weight loss number or I want to be this weight or this pant size or any of that anymore. It's just like, I just want to continue to make my foundation stronger. I want to be healthy. I want, if something happens like this again, or, who knows what will happen, like I want to know that I'm healthy and strong enough to survive. And you know what? If you're listening to this podcast right now, you survived 2020, right? Whether you gained weight or not, whatever happened, you're here and you are lucky enough to be in a space where you can listen to this podcast. You have the internet. You know what I mean? Like, that's just such a place of gratitude to come from, and take that into the new year with you too. Instead of being mad at yourself and hating yourself and bullying yourself for what you didn't do, just think of how grateful for what you do have and how you can take that with you moving forward. And it's all so much mindset. I mean, it's calories in, calories out, and moving your body and all of that. It is obviously those things. But really, it's in your head. It's in your mind. Like, if you want it to happen, you will make it happen. Everything that I have really wanted to happen in one way or another, if I put my mind to it, and oh my God, I know that's so cliche. I mean, making a little Back to the Future reference here. If you put your mind, you put your mind to anything, a new accomplishment or whatever George McFly said, that's real. Like, the power of your mind is legit. So if you're starting this out being like, oh, I don't want to, I'm going to fail at this again, resolutions don't work, or, whatever that is, you set the stage. You just told yourself that you're going to fail. How are you possibly ever going to do it if you already told yourself no? And even if you got a whole crew of people, friends, family, whatever, telling you can't, they don't mean a damn thing as long as you tell yourself that you can. Man, I've had a lot of critics in my life. And guess what? Suck it. This is my life, not yours. I do what I want. I want this for myself. I'm going to make it happen. This is a priority for me. This is my life. And do you have to make some concessions? Do you not get to do everything exactly the way you want it? Yeah, but ultimately, what's more important? So that's my advice for restarting weight loss in 2021 is, get your head in the game, whatever your goals are. Like, you absolutely 100% can do this. There's a lot of really hard circumstances around things right now, or you're at gyms may be closed, food situations, but like, you can do it. And I also want to say that when I started losing weight with my New Year's resolution in 2012, that was like, in my adult life, probably one of the poorest times in my life as far as financially. Like, I was not making a ton of money, and I was living in Denver, which is not a cheap city. And I made it work. So again, it's like, you kind of have to knock off the excuses at some point. I could have told myself right then, I'm like, oh my God, when I lived across the street from a Whole Foods, I didn't shop at Whole Foods because this bitch ain't rich. So it's like, what do I got to do to do this? I didn't have a gym membership. I walked outside. I just like walked the neighborhood. I mean, again, it was nice outside because it was Denver, but I mean, I've done that. I do that here in Cincinnati, and the weather in Cincinnati sucks. And so it's like, you get done what you want to get done. You find a way. Like, I found a way. I went outside and walked. I didn't have a gym membership. I did, food on the cheap. Hit the bulk section, man. I ate a stupid amount of kale. Like, not that the kale is the cheapest, but kale is not the most expensive thing. You don't need fancy crap with fancy labels that are expensive. You don't need supplement lines. I never had any protein powder or anything at the time. It's just, figuring it out. And again, it's because it's the mindset of like, okay, that doesn't have to hold me back. This is what I want. Let's go. So am I repeating myself at this point? I'm really good at doing that. But yeah. So I think that you got this. I know you do. I know we all can't wait to move on to better things and happier days. And, I'm sure there's going to be some in there, but I think 2021 is going to be an interesting year. Hopefully not as tragic as 2020, but you got to go into that knowing there's going to be good and there's going to be bad, and you got to make the best out of it. And yeah, I think that you'll do great. And of course, if you ever have any questions, if there's any way that I can help, you can always shoot me an email, amanda@amandavalentinebites.com. You can find me on Instagram at You Can Pound This. I'm on Facebook and stuff too, but I don't ever check it anymore, which is a whole nother topic of detoxing from social media. My life has been so much better without Facebook. Just want to say, man, that was a good choice on my end. It just got too chaotic. Anywho, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you find any value in this episode or any episode, please share. Please rate and review if you can and help spread the word. It means so much to me and is so incredibly helpful to a small business entrepreneur like myself. I will talk to you later.
For info on health coaching and more, go to AmandaValentineBites.com.